happy holidays, everybody. Guess what? It's that time of year again, and we are making turkey. I mean, what says Thanksgiving, Christmas, any holiday dinner anyway, then a big old turkey. Now, I know a lot of people get intimidated by turkeys and just think, how am I going to tackle that great big 15-pound thing? Let me just tell you something. Just think of this turkey as a great big chicken, okay? It's a little less intimidating, right? So instead of getting all worried about brining and roasting and tying it up with twine so that you've got it trussed up, forget all that stuff. I just say that's a total waste of time. Because really, are you going to be doing the Norman Rockwell thing and taking this big old turkey to the table? Heck no. You're going to be roasting it in the kitchen, and then you're going to be cutting it up in the kitchen. So really, we don't need to worry about this thing. What we need to know is, though, if we're doing a whole turkey, how to do it simply, how to do it deliciously, and how to do it so it doesn't dry out. That's the biggest complaint that people make about turkeys. So I'm going to give you a couple of quick turkey tips before we get our turkey in the oven. The first thing is fresh or frozen. I don't care. Get what you want. Should you get one brined? Should you get one unbrined? Again, I don't care. But they've said, studies have shown that those pre-brined or those self-basters, those are the ones that are a little bit more juicy. And the reason why is it's in a saline solution. So it's as if you brined it yourself. I never brine and I don't buy it that way. What I do is I cook it at a very high temperature on 500 degrees for 30 minutes. Then I turn it down to 375 and I finish cooking it. And a 14, 15-pound turkey, it takes usually about 2.5 hours. We'll talk about that later once it comes out, and I'll give you a little bit of a guide on how to do this. This is a new way that I do turkey. It's not in my Saving Dinner for the Holidays book, although that is a classic, tried and true. I've always done my turkeys like that. I've started doing them like this. I'm really pleased with the results, and honestly, 2.5 hours, who can complain? All right, a couple of things. We are going to get our turkey ready, and we, of course, are going to use our shears, our lovely kitchen shears, and get this little guy out of his plastic wrap. And here's the thing that you need to know about turkeys is once you get them in the oven, you are going to close that oven, and you're not going to look at him again until it's time. And let me just tell you something about what until it's time means. It means that you're not going to open and close that oven and baste like a fool, because basting doesn't do anything. Guess what happens? When you put your turkey in the oven, do you know what happens? Excuse me, I'm wrestling this guy. Okay, doctor, I've removed the forceps, okay? All right, so what happens in that oven, you've got that high temperature on, that skin seals up. It seals up. So what is the point of opening and closing and opening and closing and opening and closing the refrigerator or the oven door? All you do then is make the temperature decrease in your oven, which causes your turkey to need to be cooked longer. So guess what happens? You know exactly what happens. You get a dried out turkey. So what our goal is then is to get this turkey into the oven, get it cooked, get it sealed, get it hot, get it going in the right direction, and then we're going to have a really fantastic turkey. Okay, I just delivered a neck from the turkey's cavity. Oh, what other lovely things can I find? Oh, that's it. That's all they gave me. Usually, they'll give you, you know, some giblets and stuff. Some people like giblet gravy. I'm not a big fan. That just means gravy with innards. This is what you call the parson's nose. It's where you keep the tail feathers. I also pull that sucker off, and that's what I do. I pull it off, clip it off, really. Some people also like to pull off, cut the wings. I don't, because I think that's, well, you can cut them. Well, no, we're not going to do that. I really don't like to do that. I think it's, you know, this poor miserable turkey, he's had enough, right? So you rinse off 2 cavities. Remember, you've got a head cavity and you've got a cavity. Now, several things you can do with these things. Excuse me while I deliver the baby here. It's like having... weighs more than my kids did. This is a 15-pound bird. There it goes. Okay, remember what I just said? No trussing allowed. We're not going to do that. What we will do, however, and we did get a bag of liver and kidneys and other stuff like that. I'm not a fan, so we're not going to mess with that. What we want with this broth here, with the parson's nose and the And the neck end is we want to have a nice flavorful broth. Now, several schools of thought on this one too. And I have just gone with what's easy, what makes sense, and what gets the job done. And that is I just take a half an onion and I throw it in there. And then I'm going to put that on the stove top, and it's going to simmer, oh gosh, about an hour, and just to get all that chicken broth, chicken flavoring out of there. And then later on, I'll take, you know, obviously I will strain that, and then I'll throw a little bit of, potato water in there, and that will be the basis for deglazing my pan later for gravy, which, if you've been a failure in gravy, you will never fail again, because I've got all the hot tips for you on how to do that. You can see I'm just patting our little guy dry a little bit, okay? And that's good for that. We are going to now give him a little bit of butter. Now, in here I've got butter, a whole stick of butter. Yes, indeed, a whole stick. And I have a little bit of olive oil. I do that just to keep the burning factor down, because he's going to be going into a 500-degree oven here shortly. So what we're going to do is just get him ready for a nice little suntan booth, okay? We're going to get him nice and pretty. Now, there's several schools of thought on how to do a turkey. Some people start it breast side down, take it out of the oven, wrestle it to the ground, and turn it over and swear by that method. Some people start it on the breast side down and keep it that way the whole way. I've even heard of people, and believe me, I've tried this method, of cooking a turkey overnight in the oven at a very low temperature, which, you know, that's just an invitation for food poisoning. I'm sorry, but things have changed, folks. If you're doing that, insisting that's how your mom did it and that's how so-and-so told you to do it, go ahead, but I'm just telling you, big mistake. All right, so you see that? We've got all that butter in there. Give a little bit to the cavity for good measure. Oh, yeah. And right on the top, more butter. Butter, butter, butter. I'm really having a Paula Deen moment here. Don't tell Paula I said that, but girlfriend likes butter. Okay, then I like a little thyme into the cavity, okay, and a little rubbed sage also into the cavity. And I just take a spoon rather than my hand, kind of mix that all up into the cavity, okay? Now, I'm not going to put any on the top because it's just going to burn off. But what I will do is salt and pepper. And I've got my pink Himalayan salt. Love this stuff. Real delicate salt, but just does a great job. This kind of crisps up the skin and drives the fat out, which I like. And then this is a rainbow peppercorn. Again, I like this too. And one more thing, take my spoon, and I'm going to put a little salt and pepper on that spoon. And I'm going inside, folks, and just messing around with that butter. We can also use our little buttered thing and just get that cavity all buttered up. Okay, why am I doing this and not stuffing it? Well, you will find out there are two different schools of thought. There is the stuffing school of thought, and there is the dressing school of thought. And I will tell you, stuffing in a turkey is fantastic. It also can be dangerous, so I don't like doing it because I have actually had food poisoning from doing it that way. That's one. Two, it also will suck out all the moisture in your turkey. That's what makes it so good. And your turkey's all dried out and flaky. We don't want that. So what we're going to do is get this turkey in the oven. It's going to go in for 500 degrees for 30 minutes. We're going to turn it down to 375 and finish it cooking it in 2.5 hours. Seriously. So let's get this turkey in and get this party started.